I was born in Chile. Were you in Chile at all?
Chile, yeah.
I know you guys
Santiago.
were in Buenos Aires.
Santiago.
Yeah. You like it?
I think it was Beautiful Theatre. I think we played there.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. Yes, lovely. And one of my I don't know if you know Bernie. It's I've forgotten his second name now. Bernie. He's a Crimson fan.
Yeah.
And he was in the States, but something had an unfortunate is there was a death in his family, and he had to go back to Chile. So I'd never actually met him, but I did meet him for the first time there.
Yeah,
and and that's part of being this sort of global village thing, where you finally do meet people that you've spoken to on FaceTime or on Facebook or something like that, and you finally meet them. And it's absolutely lovely to do that. That's one of the lovely things now about touring is just, when you actually meet people that you've only seen pictures of or shared a few lines with, and you finally meet them and they're real people. It's
absolutely. I end up.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I was born in Santiago, and I after high school I ended up coming to the United States to study. I went to graduate school, and I ended up staying all my life. So that was the best decision of my life, coming here to America to see bands, because at the time, early 80s, bands were not going to South America. So I was going crazy. I wanted to see bands, right? I began collecting records when I was 14, but I couldn't see any gigs. And I got lucky in my life. I was able to come here, and the rest is history. I'm very happy. I have seen so many great bands, and I'm very happy in my life because I was going crazy living there at the time. Now everybody goes to South America, but 30 years ago it wasn't the case.
Bernie Quiroga was his name. Bernie Quiroga is his name.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know.
No, okay. Anyway, that was I mean, I loved going around South America, and and I couldn't have chosen nicer people to do it with. It was great fun. Good.
I think many people have compared you with Jean-Luc Ponty, which I have a great admiration, and I'm going to be interviewing his daughter next week, Clara Ponty, as well. Have you met him?
Is she a violinist too? Is she a violin player as well?
But no, she plays singing and piano for the most part.
All right, okay.
She's very talented, actually, Clara Ponty. And have you met Jean-Luc Ponty? Have you played with him or interacted with him at all?
Sorry, say that again. Your voice.
I'm quite sure that a lot of people have compared you, or perhaps you compared yourself with Jean-Luc Ponty. Have you met him, played with him?
Well, we did, I think. No, I've never met him. I think we did, I think 1 or 2 concerts with, who were we playing? Who was he playing with? He was playing with, who would he have been playing with in 1974? Anyway, we did a couple of gigs with him. And I've seen him as well. I saw him play with Zappa as well. Very, very good. He's an amazing player, and the real pioneer. I mean, we wouldn't have, the Zeta violin, I don't think, as it is without his, without his leadership. No, he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. For me, it's
absolutely.
He's a hero of mine in many ways, and I. Hopefully he will accept my interview to the show as well. I would love to talk to the guy. And he's a very good person too. I saw him like a couple of years ago, the last time.
Every time I see him, he seems to get better. Seems to get better and better. Fantastic player.
He in the late, I think, 70s, and he practiced. I mean, he's very good, and he's ended up producing like at least an album a year, and he does like 30 or so gigs a year. He's very famous here in the United States as well, and in South America. Every time he goes to South America, he do, he played 2 nights, then he go to another city another 2 nights, and so he's very well known in Latin America as well. So they do very well when they do there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What kind of music do you like to listen to nowadays? You are at home.
I don't. I hate listening to music. Actually,
Really?
yeah, gives me no pleasure. It's work really. I listen to get ideas, to get inspired. I'm very moved by music, but really because of that, I can only take it in very small amounts. But when I'm listening to music, I'm always working. I'm always thinking about it.
But it's like music in the background for you to get ideas about.
No, I can't stand background music. No. Somebody said, it'd be great. We can share it. When I was working at university, we can share an office, because you like music, and he played the radio all day long, and it would have killed me to do that. I can't. I have to listen to what's going on. I can't ignore it. So if I'm listening, I can't do anything else. I can't have background. Background music is a meaningless term.
Yeah.
Music isn't in the background. If music's there, I'm listening to it. Or I have to force myself not to, and that's I have to put my fingers in my ears and get away from it. No, it doesn't. I never listen really for pleasure. No, I can't think of the last time I was able to do that.
So, compositionally, where your ideas come from? If you don't.
Well, yes, I steal ideas from other people. Wherever, if I find something I like, I'll steal it and use it. But I try to. I work in two ways, really. I work instinctively. The things I like best are the things I do instinctively. So I will improvise my way into something. So when I improvise on the violin, or I sing something, or I play something on a keyboard, and I try to not think and try and just let the music come, try to just be a channel for the music to come through me, I know that gets the best results. But, it doesn't always work. So sometimes I do things like I ask myself a question like, what would you really want to hear? What would make you excited? What would make you think, oh, I've never heard this before? And I try and answer that question musically. I try and say, well, what would surprise me? What would be different here? So I have that conversation with myself. But it's kind of very the beginning of it all is always kind of very non-musical, if you want. It's to do with trying to engage my feelings as much as possible, to say, well, what am I feeling now, or what's required here, or what, what's at the heart of this, what's at the guts of this, what's the inside feeling, what's the power of this, how do I feel, and keep looking for the feelings until something starts to emerge. That's the stuff that works for me. I've done, in the past, I've written music for for shows, for theatre and stuff like that, and for videos and things where you're writing to a brief, but that's very technical for me. I find that hard to do that with any real heart. So I'm not very good at that. Well, no, I was okay at it, but I have to have my heart in it really to make it work.
Gotcha.
So that's where I go now. And the other thing is, I really like collaborating. I was bored with me a long time ago, and I like working with other people. It's the most exciting part of it, and that's one of the most difficult things really about the lockdown and about not seeing other writers and players at the moment. We can do it in this way, over the phone and with Zoom, but it's still not the same as being in a room at the moment of creation. There's something wonderful about being physically close to somebody when you both realize that something wonderful just happened. And that's those are marvelous, wonderful moments that give life, to me, all of its meaning almost, apart outside of, family and love. It's those wonderful moments you share with other people.
Absolutely.
And that's, that's what I really miss.
Absolutely, I understand. Last night I was able to go to, I think it was Amazon or Bandcamp, and I bought 3 records new for you. One, the duet that you did with David Jackson, the one that Andrew Booker, Peter Banks, and those are unbelievable pieces, man. They're so beautiful.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you for buying them. By the way, I appreciate it.
But I wanted to buy all of them, but you only have 3 in Bandcamp. You should have more, man.
Well, the rest you'll find the others on our website or on
in Amazon or in your website.
Yeah.
The one
iTunes,
with Jackson and Booker, the one that I listened last night about 11 p.m. or so, unbelievable. I was very moved. Very, very good stuff.
Which one are you talking about? The one with David Jackson?
The one for David Jackson, Another Day, the one with Andrew Booker as well.
Yeah. It's working with great people. I mean, Andrew Booker is a fantastic musician. I mean, there's some people just make you work well, I found that out well. I think for Andrew is one of those people who just kind of organizes things in such a way that he can hear the best in you and bring it out. David Jackson's another person that's so easy to work with, and he makes me play well. Some of it is competition, but it's a mixture of, it's a love-hate thing there. We can kind of compete with each other, but we also reinforce each other's. We have a very similar sense of humor, so we find the same things funny, and and we kind of have strong emotions that work well together, I think. So I've done a lot with him the last few years.
The other one that you did with Naomi Mackie.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I'm very I didn't know her, so I end up emailing her, so hopefully she will get back to me.
Yeah, she's I was lucky that she happened to be in London at the time when her children and it was like, my wife is Japanese and she's Japanese, and they were I think at the same school, and my wife met her and was talking to her, and when I realized how amazing she was, I mean, she's an incredible musician.
Absolutely.
I kind of dared to ask. I was interested in trying to do something new, and that was really the beginning of kind of something I call electric chamber music, and it was it's an attempt to use the kind of electric devices that are available to us, for delays and things like that, but in an acoustic kind of setting, and she was absolutely inspirational to play with. Such a sense of the preciousness of each note she has when the notes unfold on the piano. You know that love and care and her whole life up to that point has gone into that note. I learned so much from playing with her. Really, really great experience. And that's really what I like. I just like finding people, or being able to work with people who have that. Some of these people are very well, who are great at this, well known. Some of them are not particularly well known, but if they've got it, it's just I just want to be part of it. I just want to share that with them. It's just so precious, because it's like being in a different dimension somehow.
I know what you mean. I didn't know her at all, and and I end up going to her website and email to see if she wanna do.
She's an artist as well. She's a visual artist. She's a remarkable woman. Yes.
By the way, now that I was thinking about Japanese, that your wife is Japanese. Do you know David Sylvian?
I don't know him. I know of him, obviously. Yes. Yeah. I don't know him. No.
Yeah. Okay. That's an unbelievable guy too.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Now he's, I don't know, he kind of retired at home. He doesn't want to tour anymore. I never seen the guy, but I would pay any money to see the guy, to talk to him.
I mean, I spent a long time, unfortunately, being very shy and not thinking very much of it, not thinking very highly of myself at all. And I think in the past I was just too nervous to talk to anybody like that. I mean, I got introduced to Peter Gabriel once, I remember, and sort of ran away, because
Really?
I was just too nervous and felt so worthless. And I think John Wetton introduced me to him at the Albert Hall, I think, once, and I just found it all too frightening. I don't feel like that now, but I did probably for most of my career. I felt like that, so I wouldn't jump into places where probably I could have done and should have done, really. But I've enjoyed my life, even if it wasn't at the highest level.
But a personal question about that: do you regret not, because you were shy and not being able to expose yourself and play with other musicians or people that introduced you, that you felt they were great, but you say, these people are not going to think good of me or whatever?
Yeah.
You regret that?
Yes, I do. Yes. Because it's stupid.
But how do you reconcile that?
It's a lack of confidence, and it did prevent me from developing, probably. I think I probably would have developed faster as a musician had I been more confident. So yes, I do regret that, and I when I see my children, my grown-up children, still having that, I see their lack of confidence sometimes. I try to encourage them out of it, but the trouble is that when you're in it, when you feel underconfident, it's very hard to shift. So I do regret that, but I don't. It doesn't. I've enjoyed everything I've done, so I don't think I lost anything. I just could have had a different kind of path. I think I could have got a deeper understanding than I have of music. I think I could have gone even deeper into it, and maybe theatre as well.
Yeah, and I noticed that in other people that I have, you know who Anthony Phillips is from Genesis, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony. So I interviewed him. He left Genesis, and then Steve Hackett joined the band. So Anthony is also very, very quiet.
I don't
doesn't do that many interviews, and he keeps it to himself. He doesn't tour. He just releases records, send it to his company, and then they put it out there. But he's very good too. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, who I am to judge what people should do or shouldn't do? But it's same kind of keep it to himself, and but he's a good person. But he's a good person more on a one-to-one kind of scenario like this, you and I, instead of giving an audience to 100 million. I'm sorry, to 100 people or do a presentation of 100 people or something.
Yeah.
That people have managed to. Can you talk about the Noisy Records, your own record company?
Yeah, I mean that was I was having difficulty getting my music released, and so I decided I may as well do it myself. Well, I wasn't no. I mean, did get music out, but on smaller record companies, and I think in the end, since I wasn't able to access major record companies, I decided that the effort I put into it myself would probably be more than another small record company would. So I did it. It was purely for my own material when I did it, and I was interested in how far I could go with that, and it's been good and it's been bad. Really, it's a lot of. It's very hard to make money, as it is in most businesses, and it's a lot of work and a lot of paperwork for very small things. I mean, if you're not selling a lot of records, you've still got to do the calculations and share out the tiny amounts of money that come in to everybody. So the responsibilities are still there, but I've enjoyed having it as I've enjoyed the freedom of being able to put out stuff that I want to put out on it. So in that way, it's been very good. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not successful as a business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a good decision.
Digital music or CDs, vinyl, or almost?
No, I'm not yet. I know some. I've had conversations with a couple of people about doing vinyl, and some people are quite keen to do vinyl.
Yeah.
We might do that at some point. I don't like vinyl myself. I've never liked vinyl. I've hated it ever since I bought my first record player, because every record I've ever bought was scratched, and as soon as I put it on, it just went made a terrible noise. So
Right.
I was so relieved when CDs came along, because at last I could listen to music without all that crackling and noise going on.
Yeah.
So, I've no idea why people love vinyl. I don't know, but I understand it's true for many people. Well, usually the people I'm talking to, like yourself, are always very keen on vinyl. People who listen, yeah.
If you have good quality turntables, right, and records that are in very good shape and very good stereo, the music it sounds very, very good.
Yeah. Well, I'm very clumsy, so I've never, even the best that I could buy, and I mean, I've never had very top end hi-fi equipment. But as soon as I put the record on and then put the needle on it, it would bounce and it would be scratched, and that's it. I just, they're too frail for me. I'm just too clumsy for vinyl. It's not, you have to be very careful, and you have to have great love for pieces of plastic and electronic equipment. I'm not like that. I'm very. I break things very easily. I drop things, trip over them, all that sort of thing. So I'm not a good person for vinyl. But I understand the quality that it does have.
Well, if you ever are in touring United States, I will invite you to my house here in Virginia, and they will listen to it. It's unbelievable, David.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice. I can't afford to tour the United States, because you want to charge me some extortionate amount of £3,000 or more to even visit there. You have to pay to go and play in the United States. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Well, me, I will go to. I'm planning on going to London in April or May to see some shows, but with the pandemic, I don't know if I will be able, if my wife will allow me to go there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm supposed to be playing again in May, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. I suppose it all depends on the vaccine, how fast that gets rolled out.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that'll be okay, but we don't know yet.
Yeah. So I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about the new material that you're working on, at least on your own at home, and any gigs, any gigs that you're planning on for doing?
No. I mean, the earliest gigs are in. I think we're supposed to be playing Gouveia Festival in Portugal in May. I think that's the first thing that's with my band. But or was that with David? I can't remember. I can't even remember if it might be just David Jackson and me, actually. But anyway, that's the first thing. But I'm not sure that any of that's going to happen yet. So I'm not thinking about concerts at all. But I have been recording. I've done. English Sun was the first as an electric chamber music collaboration I did with Andrew Keeling, who's a flute player, who's written a couple of books about King Crimson. I met him when I was writing something about a piece called Trio from the Starless album, Starless and Bible Black. And he arranged Trio for early instruments. Anyway, he's a great flute player. We did an album called English Sun, and we created a piece called October is Marigold 10 years ago. And what we've done this year is we've recorded a whole album which is probably going to be called October is Marigold, which is based all around that now. So it's flute, it's violin and with flute, violin with piano. He plays piano, he plays guitar as well. So it's a variety of instruments, but it's all this electric chamber music feel. And that's probably going to be will hopefully be out sometime early next year. That's my next project. That's definitely up for release. We're just looking at the artwork, and we've got the running order, and we've got everything ready. We just need to get it mastered and get the artwork done. So that's the next thing in the pipeline. My own band, we're working on a strange album, really, which is a studio album. It was all recorded in the studio before lockdown, or most of the bulk it was the drums, bass, and everything, and vocals. But it's a mixture of songs that it's what we've been playing live, and we play quite long versions of things. So it's actually only 7 songs I think we're putting on it. One is Starless, with our version of that with this is all Ginny and Wild singing, and we're doing a version of Exiles there because we've reworked that in a different way. So those 2 Crimson tracks, and then we've taken from Another Day. There are 2 tracks from there, one called Come Again and one called Going Nowhere. And we've got words. Ginny's written words for those, and we've turned those into songs. So those are song versions of those tracks that are going on this album. So it's kind of, and then we've picked up a couple of tracks from earlier DCB albums, David Cross Band albums, and these again are ones that Ginny hasn't sung, so it's where the singer hasn't really been heard before, but he's been doing it on stage. So it's kind of revisiting material. But it's never been heard in this form before, never been recorded in this form before. It's just we've recorded everything. We're mixing it now. We're doing a kind of team mixing thing where we're kind of taking responsibility for a track each, and then getting feedback and then modifying it. And that's all coming to the end of that process now. So that should be ready by the beginning of January, I would have thought as well. So then we need to.
I would love to listen to that stuff when it's released.
Oh, it's sounding great, and it's sounding very different as well. We've kind of moved into a kind of slightly warmer phase, really, and we're a little bit something with a little bit more space in it than we've used in the past, and it's starting to work very well. So yeah, it's sounding great, and I'll be putting some tasters up when it's releasable.
I wanted to ask a question. It's how are you doing on time? Are you busy, or I have time for a couple more?
A few minutes more. I need to do some work on this Starless thing.
Are you still? Yeah, are you still in touch with Robert Fripp and or the King? You talk to them like frequently, or I think you guys did in 215. Or?
No, well, Robert and I do from time to time with not recently. I think I keep hoping I'm going to see him when I go to the. He invites me to come to the concerts, and I go to the concerts when they're on here, and they sort of, which is so it's nice to see the band. But he never comes. He never shows himself, so I never actually get to meet him. Just the odd email every now and again we have about some about a track or something like that. Bill, yeah, every now and again I've had a chat with him or met him. The last sit down chat, unfortunately, it was at John Wetton's funeral when we sat down and had quite a nice chat. But I have talked to him over the phone and sent him stuff to listen to and emailed him and stuff like that. And Jamie Muir, who was part of the band, haven't been able to see him since the early 70s. I don't know what happened to him really. So I miss being in touch with him.
No, I email also Robert Fripp, but the chances that of him getting back to me are very rare because he's very famous, and
Yeah.
unless I was coming from the BBC or something, that would be a different story. But probably I would never have the opportunity to interview the guy. And but I have great respect for him and the music and.
Yeah, and what I really like about he's married to Toya, and they've been doing this sort of Sunday lunchtime. I don't know if you've seen it. They've been
say that again, please.
They've been doing a Sunday lunch with Robert and Toya, his wife. Yeah, it's a sort of online little sketch thing that they do. They do something that's it's usually quite funny what they do. I really enjoy that. What's really nice to see is to see Robert being playful in that way. I really enjoy that.
And are those on like on YouTube in some channel or?
Yeah, it's on. I don't know. Chamisha, my wife showed me, but it must be on YouTube, or it must be links to it from the DGM site. I would thought.
Yeah, I got you. I need to figure out.
But it's that's how I remember him from touring. When he was young, was being very playful and and always a great sense of humour. As well as being really kind of engaged in the music, and it's just nice to see that side of him is, alive and well. That's good. That's all.
Yeah. It happens to me with a couple of musicians that the opinion that I have of them through the music is very different than when I interview them or I talk to them after a show or whatever. And it's sometimes it's shocking. The opinion. You are the same. Although I never met you through the interviews and the music I play, and now they've been talking to you for an hour. Yeah. You're no different. But some people, musicians, I can tell right away after talking to 5 minutes with them that the personality doesn't match the music, if you will.
Oh, right. Okay. But mine does it?
No, yours does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Oh, that's
a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you're a very prolific, humble, maybe shy musician, but you're very good. You're very good at what you do, and as I say, I listened to the album that the Roll Fripp on 1915, the Stickman with Midori, the one we did with Sean Quinn, the one from Jackson and Booker. And the one with Naomi that's very, very good music, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I do my best.
Oh, you're very good.
I try to.
Yeah, very good, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I wanted to finish this, but thanking you for the time, David. You're a very good person, and I'm glad you did have the opportunity to share an hour with us, and to your wife that allowed me to do the introduction and email her and put this together. And I wanted to thank you very much for your time again. I will be emailing you this interview so you can keep it to your record, and I will let you know as soon as we have it on the website. So you get, if you're into social media, and you can share the link in your website or with your friends or whatever. For people that want to buy your music, where they can find David Cross stuff on your website as well, right?
Yeah, david-cross.com.
Yeah.
david-cross.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I hope you do well. I will email you shortly, and thank you very much for your help and your time.
Okay, and thank you very much. I've very much enjoyed talking to you, and I just hope other people get something out of this. And
absolutely.
All my best to all the listeners as well, because without them, nothing would happen.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Okay, all the best. All right. Have a good day. Bye.